for soccer here at Alabama State. I'm joined, of course, by the coach, Jodie Smith. We're going to recap the week that was and look ahead toward this weekend's games. Of course, the big news off the top was Ariela Lewis, SWAC Offensive Player of the Week, so I want to get right into that. Talk about what she did this past week. She scored in 3 straight games on the road against some pretty challenging opponents, starting last Tuesday at Troy, and then going through the weekend at Jacksonville University, and then also at North Florida on Sunday. So 3 straight games, 3 straight non-conference opponents, and she scores in all of them. Really just climbing up the ranks and what she can do. How do you characterize just what she means to this team and what she's done this year so far?
Well, right now she's carrying the load for us offensively for sure. She's creating a lot of opportunities for herself. We're finding her in good spots, and she's at least starting to score goals for us. We struggled early on, but she's starting to find a little bit of a rhythm. And for us to be successful, she's going to have to be successful. So it's a nice honor for her.
Difficult matchup anytime you're matching up with the twins, Aaliyah and Ariela. But it's Ariela who's been kind of carrying the torch here, especially the last 3 games in terms of finding that spot in the scores on the score sheet.
Right.
31 goals, 19 assists now. She's 1 assist away from being the 4th active player in NCAA Division I soccer currently, with part of that 30-20 club. But where does she rank among the best players in the country?
Well, she's obviously right up there. I mean, the stats bear it out. She's been her and Aaliyah have both done very, very well for us. And when we recruited them, and they came a long way to come here from Anchorage, Alaska, she's doing, and Aaliyah as well, is doing exactly what we thought they'd do, be successful. They play real well together. I know I want to say Aaliyah assisted on the first goal this past weekend. They play real well together. They interact together, and right now she's kind of carrying the load. But don't be surprised if this weekend Aaliyah is the one.
Right. It seems to switch off on who will take the lead there. People always ask me, though, the Alaska story, and they're both from Anchorage, Alaska, such a long way to Montgomery, Alabama.
Right.
People always come up to me and say, "What's the recruiting story there?" And I want to hear it from you. I just kind of was curious. What was that trip like? How did they decide to come all the way here?
Well, they wrote a letter when they were probably sophomores in high school, and they were playing on an under-18 team. I was out in Las Vegas at a showcase, and they were playing. And I was thinking to myself, this is going to be very hard to track for 2 years and try and stay on top of them and, give me a chance to get them to come for a visit. And we interacted, they corresponded. We saw them play at under-17. We could start talking to them. And they got them out for a visit. It took a lot to get them here. I think they had 3 layovers on their recruiting trip. And, like what they saw, I think they were interested in an HBCU type experience, being from Alaska. They're native Alaskans. Their great-grandfather moved to Alaska to work on the railroad. And I'd assume, that they were military kids and had traveled around. And said, no, they're native Alaskan. And that's where they're born and raised, and came out for a good visit. Coincidentally, we played well that weekend. We've got great facilities now. They were in that first incoming class where we were in the stadium, so there were a lot of positives that we could showcase the university about when they came for their visit.
Yeah. It seems like a lot of people slept on them when they were just really top of the line recruits, and not too many people knew about them. But or was that the case, or was it more just a great opportunity that was found?
I think it's twofold. It was a great opportunity. Twins. So they wanted to come together. A lot of times you don't have that type of scholarship dollars sitting around for 2 players, like-minded players up front. And we were growing our program, and we offered them both good scholarships, and we wanted both of them to come. That was part of the caveat, is that they interact well together on the field. They have, obviously they're twins. They have the twin thing working, but they interact well together, and that was a big positive for us that we got both of them.
Yeah, just an interesting story all around, how good they've been, and just class acts all the way around. Looking at last week, where we had to go to Jacksonville, Florida. Of course, we had to dodge the brunt of the hurricane there.
Right.
It didn't hit us too badly. Just a rain-soaked field got them in, as you predicted, with those sand fields. We did lose 4-1 to Jacksonville. But the shots in the first half were pretty close. It was a 10-9 advantage for Jacksonville. Better than what we saw in the first few games. Was that an improvement? Did you see something there?
Well, I think we're playing better. Than we were last year. The problem is we kind of turn off for a minute. We make a mental mistake here, and it just kind of snowballs on us. And that was the case Sunday. I thought we were combining well. We were organized. We were communicating. The energy level was there. and we had a turnover in a bad spot. Cost us a goal, and it kind of snowballed from there a little bit. Jacksonville's a nice club, don't get me wrong. We knew we had our hands full, but that was a game I felt like we kind of got away from.
Yeah. Emily Fleming had a really nice pass. She was way out. She lofted the ball. It looked like the right idea, just the execution was a little off. Is that the way you saw it? And trying to find Ariela Lewis in traffic there toward the
right.
back.
And we have Emily playing out of the back. She played on the front line for us last year as a winger. We moved her to the back because she can't attack out of the back. She's got great service. She played on the left side. She's left-footed. She picked her head up and was looking for Aaliyah. It was a fly-dead ball in. She was in a good spot, and it's something we've kind of worked on. And just a little off.
Right. So it was the right idea.
Totally.
Just
Yes.
touched us a little off. Okay. The shot went a little wide, but that could have been a goal there.
Sure.
And then later in the game, the Twins had a nice little connection that was broken up later, I believe, in the second half. So
Right.
there were some opportunities that were left there that could have made this a completely different game.
Most definitely. I think I want to say from distance I couldn't tell which one, but one had one off the post.
Yes.
And we definitely had some shots late in the game that could have made the difference.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Ariela did find the net in the 86 minutes. She kind of roofed it off the top and kept that goal streak going. So
Right.
going into Sunday, of course, we were up at University of North Florida, and this was a game that I know that you were disappointed. It was a game that we felt we
Very
should have won.
disappointed.
We controlled pretty much the entire game. We led 3-1 at halftime and put up 4 goals and still lost. But a 4-goal outburst. This was the effort you were waiting for offensively, right?
Certainly offensively, it's nice to obviously get Eam on the score sheet with a brace with 2 goals, and certainly Ariela keeping the pace going. And then Emily Fleming again out of the back, getting a goal. I would have expected that we score 4 goals, we certainly win. The problem was at halftime we had to make some adjustments due to injuries on our back line and paid a price for it. But 2 things that stand out to me: the Jacksonville game, we could have quit. We could have quit down a couple goals and kept battling and put a goal away in the 80th minute, which is for a coach nice thing to see instead of your players kind of going through the paces the last few minutes. We kept battling, and that's a positive. And then even when we got down, they came out early. We were up 3-1 at half. They got 2 quick ones, tied at 3-3. We kept battling and took the lead again. And again, mental mistakes are kind of costing us. I'm very pleased overall with how we're playing, but we can't continue to turn it on and turn it off, or take a break for a second. We have to be engaged for 90 minutes, and that's the area that I think we really need to focus on.
Yeah, that seems to be the point where ASU really needs to pull together. There are stretches where this team looks like they can beat anybody, and then the little lull, and that's where we get hurt. But
Right.
Eva Martinez, though, 2 goals in that game, her first 2 of her career, 2 very different type of goals. One where she booted it maybe 30 yards, really
Right.
fired up, put the fist pump out there, and then later got low inside the box, drew some contact, and was able to convert on a penalty kick. So you had a long one, and then a pressure-filled situation where she's one-on-one with the goalie. Is that what you were looking for when you went to go recruit her? A player that can do both?
Well, Ema's strength is her vision, her ability on the ball. I think the goal from far out, and one that gave us a big lift. She picked her head up, keeper's off the line. She struck the ball really well. Something again we saw as the type of goal she scored at where she was at before. And certainly on the PK, she grabbed the ball. She wanted to take it, and she definitely buried her chances.
Yeah, was this her breakout performance?
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that leaves definitely more. I mean, maybe feed off that, get more confidence for sure.
Right. Emily Fleming too. We saw her seemingly as progressed with her decision making. She seems to get more confident as the season progresses. Obviously, she was a big player for us last year.
Right.
And had 6 goals and 7 assists in her freshman year. You played her a little further back, but she showed a lot of hustle in this game where she scored on the goal. Is that something you're looking for her for?
Well, we like her ability to attack out of the back. She's an attacking player. What I like is a team first attitude out of her. Our job is to get the best 11 we can on the field at any given time, and she's in our 11, and she accepted the role of playing the back. But what she gives us is an ability to get forward out of the back, use her strength going forward as an attacking player, and create some opportunities from the back, and she can do that. She's extremely fit. She worked really, really hard in the off season to maintain her fitness, and if she can continue to do those sort of things, we'll be very dangerous.
Looking ahead to this week, Limson coming here on Friday. another Atlantic Sun Conference opponent.
Right.
So we continue with that trend, facing a lot of these teams from that same conference. They're playing some really, really strong soccer right now. They've already knocked off a couple SEC opponents. They beat Vanderbilt 2-0, and then beat Mississippi State 1-0. So this is a program that has really taken off. 4-1-1 on here. How do we approach this team?
Well, again, we're going to have to bring some energy to start. We know what we're up against. Coach O'Brien's done a great job of really turning that program around to get those type of quality wins. We're going to have a lot on our hands, and we're going to have to be disciplined. We're going to have to make good decisions, and certainly we're going to have to play for 90 minutes.
Yeah. Looking at number 9 on their team, Olivia Doak, she has 6 goals already and is only a freshman, so they've gotten a huge lift from her. She's been a player that's been very difficult to stop.
Right.
How do you game plan for a player that has been seemingly just, a very difficult challenge going forward?
Well, she's a Tennessee product. I mean, great signing for them, and she has showed the ability to score. And we're going to have to be very disciplined on her. Again, be very organized in the back, not let them create opportunities coming through the midfield. And if we can control the middle part of the field, it will definitely take some pressure off our back line a little bit. But we're going to have our hands full, there's no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm. And then on Sunday, Jacksonville State at 1 p.m. They're from the Ohio Valley Conference. Only one win on the year, 1-4-1, but they've been in some tight ball games, especially the last 3 against Georgia State, a scoreless game. They battled Troy to a 1-0 game, so you know that they can give us some problems there potentially. But only 4 goals as a team, so more of a low-scoring type of offense. What do you see from that matchup?
I think it's a great matchup. 2 very similar programs, kind of searching for some answers a little bit. I think they're going to present some challenges, but I think we're going to get our opportunities in that game. It's on our home field, good in-state rivalry. We've had great battles with them in the past, and I'm expecting us to have some opportunities. And again, I go back to the 90-minute part, in that if we can be composed, play 90 minutes, not have some of the mental lapses that we have, or just kind of turn the motor off for a second, we'll give ourselves a chance at the end to win.
Their goalkeeper, Carolyn Robinson, has just started every game. She's got a 1.29 GAA and 22 saves. So she's been kind of stingy behind there, keeping them in games. That'll be the challenge on Sunday.
Definitely, she's been tested. She's battle tested. She's made some big saves for them, and I always tell the girls, the keeper's job is to catch the ball. So we're gonna have to make her work. We can't kick anything right at her. We're gonna have to challenge her a little bit and pick better spots of the goal rather than right down the middle.
All right, that'll do it from here. Go Hornets!
Thanks, Peter.
That was nice. I didn't realize I knew you played a long time, but 90 minutes is long.
It's too much,
Yeah, man.
Far too much.